this is the review video for our third week of Beginner Swing 1. I'm Ariel.
I'm Marta.
And we are going to just run you through quickly what we taught today. We started by talking about pulse and connection, which is the second of the three very important fundamental techniques that we're teaching you. So with pulse, we talked about how you're just bouncing to the music, right? But you're not bouncing up, you're bouncing into the floor, right? So we practiced that a few times with a few different people, and then we made the point that when you actually do it together, it's step, pulse, step, pulse, step. Pulse, which is where that hold comes in when we talk about the rock, step, step, right? Step, pulse, rock, step, step, pulse, step, pulse. And then we explained that from now on we're not going to count you in when you start a song, because that's exactly how you start a song. You pulse together, you get a feel for the music, and then when the lead's ready, he leads the rock step. Then we went on to talk about connection, which most importantly, especially in closed position, is this right hand on the follows back. This is where I get all of my information from. And we proved that point by doing that pulse and movement without even holding on to this hand. This hand on my back is all I need, and the way that I tell what art is trying to do is by placing a little bit of my weight on it, so I feel when he moves it forwards or away. This hand really doesn't come into play unless you're in open position. Then obviously there's no hand on your back, so you gotta listen to what this hand is telling you.
How I'm doing this is I'm keeping the hand the same distance away from me. I'm not moving it back or forward. If I want her to spin, I just move my body, and this will cause her to spin as well.
Yeah. And Arta's arm is also all the way across my back. The more physical touching there is, the better the connection will be. Because
yes, I'm not dancing like this. Finding pulse like this is actually very difficult. And as you can see, the turning becomes really bad. So you actually want to have a lot of contact. And this way, I am guiding her. If I have my weight like this, she cannot step that way. And pulse.
So his hand is all the way across on my other shoulder blade, just so you guys can see that. Then we moved on to the move, which uses these concepts, which is lollies. Bearing in mind that this is our 6-count version of lollies and not the Balboa lollies that the Balboa people were learning. So that looks like this.
Let's do it towards the camera as well. So it's rock, step, 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 step.
Okay. So we talked about the fact that that entrance is exactly like a tuck turn, right? The open rock step, and then we move together. So that can also be thought of as the first lolly. And the difference is that Arta doesn't raise this hand, right? We go rock, step, step. But if I tried to turn right now, I would clothesline myself. So you leave this hand down here and move forward. Tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step. Until you get tired of lollies or you're going to crash into something. In which case you can move around the floor, or if you're tired of lollies and you want to get out, right?
Whoops. You can just do a tuck turn.
You finish that tuck turn that you just started.
If you want to see it from this way, it's like.
And then we rock step, and we keep doing basics. A few important things to note. The most important part of this exercise is Arta's arm telling me where to go, right? And we're trying to, however he moves me, he's going to match. We're trying to each do 50% of the work.
So you can see it as my backhand that tells her how much to open up. If I want her to really open up, I open far wide, but if I don't, it's just really small.
Yeah. This is an easy one for follows to do what we call back lead, which is to make the decision themselves and just ignore what the lead is saying. So we really want to focus on following that backhand. The last thing we talked about was the fact that if you are exiting lollies as a tuck turn, then you can do all the other things that we taught you, which include the no-handed tuck turn and the tuck turn into crosshand followed by the frisbee, which were in the last week's video. If you missed that, then go have a look. And we finished off with the pass by, which is not necessarily part of the exit from lollies, but it's another move that you can do from open, which we usually would teach in the first lesson, but we ran out of time, so we stuck it in here because it fits as well as anywhere. And that is basically just the bring in, but without a catch.
Just a basic on top. The only difference is I'm not catching her, and I'm also stepping forward.
Yeah. Arctic
And
could
switching spots.
Arctic could still stay in place and make me do all the work, but that would be mean. So rather than staying in place on our first step, we step towards each other, and then on our second step, we step away.
Yeah.
I think that was it. Next week, we will move on to the third and final of the 3 techniques, which is tension and compression. And there'll be lots more exciting material there, so we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.